Hey guys, I'm so glad you joined me today here at Pure South Pastures. It is a nice summer evening. It's humid, so a little bit warm, but actually from what it has been, it's a really nice evening. So I'm just walking through the pasture and just kind of looking at what the cows are doing in this paddock that they're in. And I was just gonna bring you along with me. So I want to talk about efficient cattle tonight. Just having cows that will take just forage, and even more than that, not just forage alone, but forage that's not optimal, and they can consume that. They'll eat, stuff that you can kind of work with them to get them to eat stuff that maybe they didn't prefer in the beginning, but then they begin to kind of get a taste for it and just pack the pounds on with non-optimal forage. So stay with us today. Thanks for tuning in, and if you'll hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're not already a subscriber, doesn't cost you anything to do it, but it sure does help us a lot. So I appreciate you doing that. And hang out with us tonight. Let's walk through the cattle here, walk through the pasture, and let's look at what they're eating. All right, here are the cows. You can see they are in kind of a jungle. This is a paddock that this part of the pasture has sat almost all summer long. I think they've been through here twice, but they didn't hit this really hard last time we were here, and so it is. It's pretty rank. You can see there's a lot of, I think they call this button weed, smart weed, and then you got some foxtail, some grass. By the way, the neighbors are they're cutting some trees down and working on a fence line over there, so a little bit loud. So I hope you can hear me over the chainsaws. Some of my videos I've watched, it's kind of rough trying to follow along because I'm walking around looking at the ground so much, because for me, I'm constantly looking at forage. And so I realize on video though, that doesn't always turn out the best. So I'll try to keep from doing that tonight. But I want you to look at this. These are what you would consider weeds. And these cows have just gone to town on them. That would be just a ragweed. And they have just about stripped it. Look at this one. Just about stripped it bare, and that's stuff you would normally just come in and you'd think, hey, I'm just going to come in and cut that. Look at this. I mean, they're just wearing it out. This got a lot of grass in it, but it also has a lot of buttonweed, smart weed, just a lot of. You can see some dog fennel there. You can see the big chunks of dog fennel. That's the tall stuff there. Just a lot of stuff, and that's because it's been sitting all summer and just letting it rest, which is good for the pasture, but it also just allows those weeds to really take off. So you can see there's some of these places in here that even just kind of mossy, which is absolutely not optimal. But I want you to look at these cattle. They're doing really good on this non-optimal foraging. I mean, look at these guys. Two bulls right here. Look at that. This guy's just barely a year old. And he's just a chunk. And there's his daddy. Kind of a chip off the block. Really cool. I don't know if I shared this before, but this bull is, I know I've shared that he's a Greg Judy bull, if you follow Greg Judy on YouTube. But I've had him for about a little over 2.5 years. Well, about a year ago, I was watching a video of Greg Judy's that I guess I had never seen before. And it was when this bull was still on his farm, and he called that's the tag that Greg Judy put on their farm that they put in his ear, 9108. And he called out his tag number while he was talking when he was this bull was a little calf. He was just talking about how good he looked, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I had never seen that before and didn't know that he'd ever called him out on video, but he's a chunk. He's a good animal. My son Scout, he's joined me out here tonight. Got done with school today. It was his first day of school, and he's out here. Just got done with homework. He's out here. You can see this is where they were yesterday. We are trying to total graze, take it down to the ground, then give it lots and lots and lots of rest. So we don't want to come back in 30 days. We don't want to come back in 45 days. We want to give it a lot of rest, unless it's ready by then, which I don't think it will be. But we have been getting some rain, which is great for us in Arkansas in August. It's not common for us to get rain. So when I say total graze, let me just show you what, because there are so many weeds in here and they compete with the grass. See all this stuff that they left behind, this taller stuff. So what I'm doing to try to give the grass an advantage is I'm coming behind and I'm clipping. So once they come out of the paddock, I come back and clip it, take it down. That way that the weeds don't have the advantage and take over where the grass doesn't. And so here's what happened. You can see the grass is really coming in back there. It's going to be good. But I was disillusioned in the way that I felt like we should have grazed. And for 2 years I grazed and tried to leave, take 1/3, leave 2/3, take half, leave half, and it just did not work in our setting. Warm season grass, basically what the cattle would do is they would come in and they would take some of it down to the ground, and then they would leave stuff they didn't want, the rank stuff. And so the next time we came, guess what they did? They went after what they ate the last time, because now it was tender and growing, and they left the rank stuff. And so the weeds, the non-desirable stuff, really got an advantage and it took over. And so now we're coming behind and we're trying to get that stuff taken down as well, so then the grass can take off and have its place. But there's Scout. How they looking, bud?
Look good.
The bull's coming to say hey to him. He wants his head rubbed. That's look, these two right here is what they always do. They want somebody rubbing on their head and get the flies off their back. Look, he's gonna rub on my leg.
Watch him.
He's gonna rub on my back, rub on my leg. Rub his back. So yeah, here. Hey, buddy. All right. Let's look at these girls. Now, I'm telling you, this isn't great forage, and I'm not. I don't say this in any way to be bragging at all, and I want to be careful how I say it. But you can't just take any animal and just put them in poor forage like this and expect them to function without any other inputs. I mean, you really need to get animals that they're conditioned for forage only, no grain. And we were able to find some really good cows that were just commercial cows here in Arkansas, and they just do, most of them do really well just on forage. We've been pushing them hard, trying to take this rank stuff down and just forcing them to eat it. And so some of them are showing the effects of that a little bit. I mean, you can see this calf right here has got something wrong with it. I don't know if it's lice. It looks like what they get in the wintertime with lice, but I've never seen lice this time of year. I don't know if it's a wart. I'm just kind of watching it and seeing what happens. I may need to treat it. But let's see. She seems really healthy. She just got this skin stuff. So if anybody has any input on that, give me a shout. Let me know. This is a beautiful little heifer right here. I love her. She's just awesome. I mean, I'd like to have a whole herd look like that. So, yeah, just some pretty mediocre. I mean, there's a lot of it, but the forage is pretty mediocre as far as not being stuff that everybody wants. But we're glad to have the grass that we have. The cows are doing good on it. And once they take this down, we'll the bull chasing us around. He wants his head rubbed. It gets to be a nuisance, really. He's gentle, and we sure don't want to. We're thankful for that, but sometimes you're out here and you just like, hey, I just want to be out here. I don't need to be rubbing on your head. I almost sold this when this girl right here was a heifer. She just really wasn't looking that good, and I almost sold her. And look at her now. From my perspective, she's a pretty good looking. She's had her first calf. She just seems to be doing dang good. She's keeping her body weight on, condition. Hey, Bubba, why don't you leave me alone? Yeah, she's doing good. This cow over here, she's a really good one, but she's got a limp. Been watching her the last couple of days. She's got a front leg that's bothering her. We don't dash to give injections. Try to let it play out. I'm just gonna see what happens. Looks like one of her front joints. I don't think it's in her foot. I think it's in like her knee. She's pretty heavy anyway, so I'm sure it's not easy on her. She's still got a great appetite. She's getting around. Water's about 100 yards away, and she's going to it just fine. So right now we're just gonna watch and see what happens. If we have to intervene, we will. We just don't like to. It's not what we want to be doing. Let you see some of these heifer calves here. She's coming on, looking really nice. Yeah, I like her. These girls over here. And you can see look how deep this forage was this morning when I came in here. And that line is really way too high. I got it back out. That line is really up to my waist. And that forage is up to my waist down through this bottom right here. And yeah, it's kind of a draw that comes up through there. In the wintertime, it holds water coming off that hill right there. A lot of goat weed up there on top. That's another reason we're coming behind and mowing. Excuse me, trying to get control of some of those weeds. All right, these girls right here. I wanted you to see the calves. People love to see the calves. And she's really taking an interest. I think she's trying to get on camera. She's following us around. What do you think, girl? No? This cow right here, she just had her first calf not too long ago. She was in heat the last 2 days. And man, the big bull and all the little bulls chased her. It looked like a herd of deer out here running around, chasing. They're really chasing. So, looked like she must be out of her cycle, heat cycle. Anyway, maybe hey girl, what's up? Pushing around. This is one of the little bulls that was chasing right here. He's small, but he still was trying to get the job done. But the big daddy, he wasn't letting anybody have their place. But they were just wearing her out, running her around. But this guy right here, you may be putting him up for sale. Anybody be interested in a half South Pole, Greg Judy genetics? These guys are a nuisance, I'm telling you. He's gonna be petted all the time. He's really gentle. He just bobs his head like that. But he's a little young yet. We'd obviously get him tested, whatever. So he wants me to rub his head, but he don't know what he wants to do. Good buddy. He's actually out of this cow right here. So that's his mama. And probably wait till fall. Give them a few more months. Maybe a little longer than that even. Maybe next spring. But good looking little bull. He's gonna have a rump like his daddy, I think. Good. Anyway, we're just out here, so I wanted to, man, it's been a while since I've made a video, so I wanted to make a video tonight. And here's a shot of his daddy. Good looking bull. You can tell it's getting dark on us. Yeah, it's a good evening. About 80 degrees, which is wonderful in Arkansas in August. And just a great night. Look at that sun, that sky, sun going down. It's beautiful. Good night to be out here in the pasture. Thanks for listening to me ramble tonight. Again, if you would just hit the like and subscribe, I appreciate you taking time to watch and follow along our journey. I know many of you are. We're in the process of learning, like I was telling you about our grazing. So far, this is working for us. We're letting about probably 2/3 of the farm sit this summer, and we're not grazing it at all. And so we're going to come back through and be grazing that in the fall when everything else is dying. So then next year we'll flip-flop it, and we'll be growing this. We'll let this into the pasture rest for the year, and then we'll graze it in the fall next year. So we'll be grazing the part that's resting this year. We'll be grazing that next summer. So that gives a long rest for all of your farm. Also allows it to stockpile if you get in a drought. When you're grazing this close, you got to have a backup. So if it gets really hot and dry, we're not gonna grow any grass where we grazed it low. I understand that, but we got a lot of land that's just sitting, laying right now, and it's rested, and so there's a lot of forage out there. We'll have to supplement some protein because it is so rank, but that's a lot better than buying hay. So that's our plan. That's our contingency plan. If it turns off a drought, we'll move to the stockpile stuff. If not, we'll graze it this fall and winter, as long as it lasts, so that we can stretch it out and not have to buy as much hay. That's what we're trying. If that don't work, we'll go back to what was working before. So it's good. It's a good night. What do you say, Scout? Good night?
Awesome. Great night. Feels great.
How the cows look?
They look amazing. Never seen them better.
How's school?
It's all right. School.
Oh, well, first day of school, he's back at it. So, hey, y'all have a good night. The cows are getting fired up over here. I know they're all pushing each other. Somebody may be in heat again, but we'll see you later. Thanks for joining us. Bye.